Okay, so we're going to do things a bit differently today. We're going to have a bit of a story time, as well as share a photo of my aura, which will be the first photo of me publicly shown. So let's get into it. All right, so it was about a month or two ago. They had one of these psychic fair type of things around town, which my girlfriend wanted to go to, whereas I really didn't. And it's funny because she's not really into magic or any of its corresponding associated fields at all, whereas I am, and she likes going to these type of things more than I do. There's always a concern for me that I'm going to be recognized by my voice, which has happened. In fact, that's how I got to know Uncle Birch, because he recognized my voice when I called up his shop looking for something. So unless I want to walk around talking like this the entire time, I'd just as soon skip out. Yes, it's a very, very slim chance that I would be recognized by anyone, but I'm not much of a crowd person anyway, as we'll soon see. But she talked me into it. We end up having to drive through a hailstorm to get there. And both of us have gotten new vehicles this year. So I was not happy about that. But we ended up making it, though we had to sit in the parking lot for a while to wait till the hail died down. But once it did, and we went inside, I could say that I was completely underwhelmed. Because most of it was just tables set up, probably about 20 of them or so, in the main area for people to give readings. Now, they advertised a variety of specialized readings, from psychics to astrologers, etc. And yet, every single one of them was just giving tarot readings. Every single one of them. So I was like, meh. Because when you do something yourself every single day, it becomes less impressive. It's not that I'm bashing their abilities or anything. It's just like if you worked at a movie theater, came home, and then your significant other wanted to go out to the movies. And you're like, I just came from there. And I know that's a terrible analogy, but you get the idea. But anyway, there was one thing there that was unusual enough to catch my interest, and that was aura photography. This lady had her little machine, which consists of these electrode plates where you put your hands on them, and then she'll take your picture, just like a Polaroid, and based upon the biofeedback from your hands upon the plates, it would display your aura in the photo, which would then be interpreted by the colors of your aura. Sounds kind of silly, but I can't argue with the results because my girlfriend and I both decided to do it, and both of our readings were completely accurate. But I'll let you be the judge of my reading. When I saw my girlfriend's photo who went after me, I was like, wow. Because as where mine had a lot of colors, she only had two. Yellow and orange all over. And we were told this was like a sunny disposition. Always happy, very social, wanting others to be happy, trying to take care of others, which she's always over at her parents' house, helping them out. You know, just the kind of person that makes you feel good to be around. Always joking, always laughing. Her sun sign is Leo, so it doesn't really surprise me all that much that her aura would look a lot like the sun, as Leo is the home sign of the sun. But I'll read a little bit for orange and yellow here from the pages that we were given with our reading. So for orange, it says creativity, emotions, confidence, ability to relate to others in an open, friendly manner, social ability, intuition or gut feelings, independence, personal expression and expansiveness, finding one's gifts, the ability to reach out and extend oneself towards others. Many talented salespeople, entrepreneurs, and people who deal with the public have orange auras. Orange is a creative and artistic color. It represents creative energy with some mental direction and focus. Orange is stimulating, vital, fun, and playful. People with a lot of orange will be creative communicators. You might find them as artists, writers, or salespeople. Orange shows an ability to communicate with feeling and a sense of fun. Orange can indicate a great sense of humor as well. For yellow, it says sunny and enthusiastic, cheerful, bright, great sense of humor and fun, optimism, intellectual ability, openness to new ideas, happiness, warmth, relaxation, uninhibited expansiveness, release of burdens, problems and restrictions, talent for organization, hope and expectation, inspiration. People with yellow auras encourage and support others by naturally being themselves. They radiate like the sun. Yellow is active and spontaneous. It is the color of mental activity and intelligence at work. Yellow is the color of joy and enthusiasm as well. A good deal of yellow in the aura can indicate a mental profession, business person, lawyer, or accountant, for example. Students often have a lot of yellow in their auras. Yellow can also mean looking forward to the future with excitement and joy. And she does work at a law firm. So we can see a lot of Mercury's characteristics in the orange and a lot of air qualities in the yellow, mental work. But again, a lot of optimism, cheerfulness, being fun, looking out for others, having a good time. And this is her to a T. It would be very uncharacteristic of her to be down in the dumps. So with mine, there was a lot more colors involved. I'm going to blur out my face and the little logo on my shirt, but you can still see all the colors. There's a lot of blue, white, there's some purple, some magenta, and some aqua turquoise, as the lady taking the photograph called it. And with the blue, she said, I need things to be calm and peaceful, kind of like a solitude type thing. And I started laughing because I'm like, yeah, I didn't even want to come here. So from the page that I was given, blue says, depth of feeling, devotion, loyalty, trust, desire to communicate, puts a great importance on personal relationships, empathy, may be a dreamer or have artistic ability, tends to put the needs of others before their own, may have the ability to meditate and live in the moment, may be emotionally sensitive, inwardly focused, may enjoy solitude, non-competitive, receptive, desires unity, peace, love, and affection. They need a calm and tranquil environment. I do enjoy my peace and quiet. You will find many blue artists, poets, writers, musicians, philosophers, serious students, spiritual seekers, and people looking for truth, justice, and beauty in everything. The cooling, clearing effects of blue are quite soothing to the body, mind, and soul. It is an excellent color for meditation and intuitive abilities. Blue can help you see things from a more neutral perspective. Depolarization. A predominance of blue in the aura indicates intuition, deep reflection, and spiritual growth. It also shows a person who is looking for the truth and her own inner centeredness and or spiritual path. Many psychics and mystics report seeing images of Mary, Mother of Jesus, bathed in blue light. Well, I can't speak for the Virgin Mother. I can speak for myself. Both my girlfriend and I both believe this is an accurate description of me. I do enjoy my peace and quiet. I've learned to love my solitude. It's not that I don't go around people, but after I'm around them for a while, especially large crowds, I can only handle it for so long before I really want to get out of there. I am fairly intuitive, and as much as I go on about depolarization, you would hope that I would have a lot of neutral perspectives. And all of these things are what you're seeing in the blue part of my aura, which is a fairly large portion of it from this photograph. The next color up is white. We see a lot of white in my aura. And the photography lady told me that this is purity, being close to God, very spiritual, etc. So from the paper that was given to me, it says white, spiritually motivated, the ability to be open and receptive to the divine or spiritual world, can merge with all that is, probably unconcerned with worldly matters or ambitions, inner illumination, cosmic wisdom, intense energy. Young children and serious meditators often will show bright white in their auras. White has long been considered a color of deep spirituality and enlightenment. It represents all the colors. Pure white is often used as a color for trance-channeled communication with spirit guides. And so this is the part of me that meditates and then answers will come to me. It further says, people with a great deal of white in their auras often are bored by the mundane details of life and may seem eccentric or whimsical to those with more physical or mental colors. White can show a strong spiritual ability, particularly as a channel for spirit guides and as a spiritual leader. So does everything sound like me so far? Pretty cool stuff. Next up, we have purple. We see some purple in the photograph. Violet or purple is described as magical, original, tends to be unconventional, often has psychic abilities, unusual charisma and charm, the uncommon ability to make their dreams come true or manifest their desires in the physical plane, wish to charm and delight others, can easily connect with higher planes of consciousness, playful, non-judgmental, sensitive and compassionate. Purples appreciate tenderness and kindness in others, not especially practical. They tend to prefer to live in dream worlds of their own creation. You'll find many entertainers, movie stars, freethinkers, visionaries, revolutionaries, and otherwise singular and magnetic individuals with these colors. Violet purple is a mixture of blue, symbolizing unlimited knowledge, and red, representing activity and power. People with an abundance of violet purple in their auras are magical, sometimes mystical, and have a deep capacity to turn inward. Violet means a person who can create entire worlds in his or her imagination. A writer of fantasy novels might have violet energy in his or her aura. Violet also indicates the ability to create a magical, beautiful home. It suggests strong insight and psychic ability and the ability to become a charismatic spiritual leader. So far, we're seeing different variations of the same theme here. Each color has been spiritual, 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 just with a slightly different flavor. Next up, we have the magenta. And there's also a lot of that color in this photograph. Now, when the photography lady tried to explain magenta to me, she made it sound as if I was a weirdo. But what she was really trying to say was that I'm just unique, that I follow my own rules, as the page I was given explains it way better than she was able to. As it says, magenta, nonconformists, innovative, strong-willed, inventive, imaginative, artistic, resourceful, productive, creative with an agile mind. Magentas are bright and determined about the things they regard as important. Magentas tap dance to their own tune. They have an innate unwillingness to conform to the expectations and norms set by society. They seek to express their individuality by using with great creativity and flair everything at their disposal. Their single greatest challenge is to recognize and understand the difference between commitment and entrapment. They revitalize our concepts of creativity through new perspectives, new vistas, and through the exploration of new points of departure from the mundane. Outgoing and creatively edgy, magentas do well in unusual settings occupation-wise, short attention spans, difficulty seeing things through to the end, need jobs with flexibility that allow them to be inventive and artistic, intelligent and innovative, freedom-loving, limitless imagination. I'm certainly a nonconformist. I do need a lot of flexibility in my occupation, being my own boss, and dance to my own tune, both figuratively and literally, as I have made my own tunes. And the final color in the picture is an aqua turquoise. The photographer didn't really say much about this color, but the page says sensitive, vulnerable, responsive, love, healing, generosity, emotion, feeling, the unconscious, intuition, individual responsibility, creativity, communication, self-reliance, independence. This color has more to do with feeling and creative expression than with rational thought. The colors between green and blue, the shades of turquoise and or aqua, relate to transformation, evolution, change, sharing, metamorphosis, transmutation, the inner teacher, and the spiritual heart. Connects us with the energies of spiritual love and mystical communication with the divine or God concept. These are shades that admit us to varied realms of the transdimensional, meaning existence beyond time and space. While the most common elemental attribution of this color is to water, it is also the color of air and spirit. Turquoise is associated with ancient civilizations, the New Age, and also with the zodiac sign of Aquarius. Turquoise, on a more mundane level, corresponds to the modern communication network, satellites, telephones, and the internet. These colors are associated both with ancient and ethnic artistry and with cutting-edge modern techno-artistry, basically bridging the gap between the old world and the new world, ancient and modern. In the aura, turquoise has not been common. It may be seen around poets and mystics, indicates a person with a seeking mind who is interested in almost everything. Some may specialize in research of some kind, usually altruistic, to benefit humanity as a whole, analytical, insightful, good counselor. Insightful, and someone with the perception who sees possibilities. And so there we have it. That is the interpretative reading that I received with my aura photography. Pretty cool stuff. And very accurate. I mean, my girlfriend's was just friendly and outgoing, and mine was a magical, spiritual person who enjoys peace and quiet, has to do things his own way and be his own boss, non-conforming, who likes to meditate, etc., etc. And there were a number of people around the fair who were holding their photographs of their auras, who I had the pleasure of speaking with. Every single one of them were different and had colors that I didn't even go over here that weren't in either of mine or my girlfriend's. And they said that it was completely accurate for them as well. And judging from my own experience, I have no reason to not believe them. And I had a good time speaking with a lot of nice people just over this subject alone on our photographs. And so for my review of this technology, I have to give it an A+. It was really amazing and far more accurate than I ever thought it would be. And so if you see this type of thing advertised in your area at either a psychic fair or holistic event, I would recommend checking it out. It didn't really cost too much. It was about $35 a person. It was unusual and accurate enough to where I thought it was worth it. So if you ever do get the opportunity to do this, I would recommend it highly. But that will about do it for today. And I hope that by sharing this, you have learned a little bit more about me and why I do what it is that I do. Now, before we go, I just want to say that when it comes to changing the prices of my programs that I had planned for this month, I've decided to hold off on that until the beginning of next year, in January. All factors considered, it's just going to make it easier for me to do it that way. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Frater Xavier, where I will be giving away some copies of the latest program, Protection and Defense, in the near future. Also, visit me on Patreon, and I will see you soon. Take care.